So it finishes West Ham 1, Forest 2, and make no mistakes about it, that result is going to paper over a lot of cracks. Welcome to my thoughts and breakdown of the match. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to post-match analysis, reaction and all that other good stuff. There's a lot to cover off, a lot to discuss about this game. And honestly speaking, after hearing Sean Dyche's presser, it's kind of angered me more than anything. So we're going to get into it all. Please make sure you've hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Check out OK Jerseys. You can get your football shirts for 15 quid. Always go a size up and use code FFTV for 8% off. Okay, where do we start with this one? Look, let's get the positives out the way. There's a 7-point gap, technically speaking, an 8-point gap to West Ham now. We're a point behind Leeds, 2 points behind Bournemouth. I would say we're 6 points off being in that proper midfield chasing pack. So a lot of positives to take out of it. The biggest positive for me is that we don't have to see Forest play in the Premier League this weekend because we got the FA Cup. Honestly, I don't really care about the FA Cup. If we lose to Wrexham, I couldn't care less. What I care about is we get at least a bit of respite until I think it's the 17th when we play Arsenal, expecting to lose that. And then I think our second half of the season can start. So a bit of stress-freeness coming up for us, which, cool, I need. After yesterday's performance, it was appalling in the first half. It really was. It was. We're just clueless. I need to show you this image, and shout out to a guy called Josh on social media who's put it up. This is what frustrates me the most. You can see on this picture here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 West Ham players to 1 Forest player. Igor Jesus is trapping the ball, and there's no one around him. Why is there such a big gap between our striker, who's actually not that deep for once, and our midfield? This is the problem I have with elements of Dyche's tactics. You cannot set up a team like that. There's only so much Igor Jesus can do on his own. Where's the midfielders? Where's the wingers? Why is the line so stretched? Simple rules of football. Again, like you coach them or you've been coaching them since you were 5 years old. The gap between the defensive line and the attacking line should remain as constant as possible. It moves up the pitch together, it moves back the pitch together. That's the best balanced team you can get. Okay, within a game it can change slightly, but there's too much of this with Forest. The tactics are non-existent in the way we're playing. And let's be real, okay? We weren't creating too many chances. We created a nice, lovely shot, by the way, from Nico Williams when the game was 0-0. Callum Hudson-Odoi hits the crossbar as well. But honestly speaking, our goals came from a corner and from a penalty, 2 dead ball situations. I can't in that second half think of a real good chance Forest created. It's still the same problem. Under the other 13 teams, we can't break them down if they go defensive. West Ham went into a bit of a kind of mini low block in the second half. They were 1-0 up. You expect that with Nuno. And honestly, they look quite comfortable. We needed that set piece from the corner and we needed the penalty. This is papering over the cracks. It really is. But maybe now we're going to see the pressure relieved from the players. That's all I can hope. Because I don't see the performances out there or the desire out there outside of Domínguez and Nico Williams yesterday. The others, honestly, I'm just at a loss. And Igor Jesus, I would say, as well, in there. Because he did work tirelessly. He did. So that's annoyed me. This is why I think it's the right time to get rid of him. I really do. Forest are kind of safe. I'm still not calling it safe from the bottom 3. I'm kind of more worried about Wolves and Burnley than I would be about West Ham. But you want to get a manager in now who can assess the squad, who has some form of tactics about him, and build it up into the summer. So by the time we get to the closed season, he knows who he wants to keep, who he wants to get rid of, has a full pre-season, etc., etc. And people say I got a Dyche agenda. I do, because I don't like this style of football at all. It's not even the style of football. It's the tactical lack of tactics that is absolutely infuriating me. So that's one thing. We need to be focusing on the Europa League. For this season to stop being the disaster, and let's be real, it's been an absolute disaster of a season. We have to go deep in the Europa League or even win it. Do I see it happening under Dyche? No. It's another reason why I'd bring another manager in who could potentially go on with European experience and win that league. But can Forest even attract one of those kind of managers right now? I don't know. But anyway, that's the discussion for another time. Maybe we'll discuss it on Grumpy Old Reds tonight. But the bottom line is, we've gotten the 3 points. That's important. Can Dyche kick us on? His post-match presser was pathetic, in my opinion. Too much of this with the nose, wiping the forehead. Man doesn't even know what day of the week it was. He was calling it Monday night. And again, what he's saying to the players at half time, if that is what he's saying, it's no tactics being discussed. It's like, yeah, kick the ball long, spice it up. That's not tactics. Tactics are about, okay, in that first half, where's West Ham's weakness been? Can we expose their 2 centre-backs looked really nervy on the ball? Let's press them, force more mistakes out of them instead of standing off, for example. There was plenty of other ways you could attack West Ham. And if that's what he's telling them at half time, this is a guy who's at a Sunday League team, would be tactically inept as well. That's the problem with it. So yes, it's papered over the cracks. Yes, we've got the 3 points. That's the most important thing out of it. But do you expect to see many more wins in the Premier League? Arsenal next, Brentford, or I think after that. A couple more sweaty games coming up. Like, we have to be careful here. What we don't want is everyone just to think, okay, this is done and dusted. Because it's not. It really isn't. That's the most annoyed I've been with a win. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I think tactically, he is the worst manager I have ever seen. Not just at Forest, but in football in general. Ange had better tactics than he did. At least you knew what Ange was trying to do. This guy is pathetic. He really is. I sack him tonight or today or whenever and just move on, cut your losses and rekindle this season because we can still win that Europa League. I just don't think the players respect him enough to take him seriously in terms of what he's trying to do on the pitch. I really don't. Look, I shouldn't be ranting and raving after a win, but I can't ignore what I saw on that pitch. Bakwa, terrible. Anderson, completely out of form, taking way too long on the ball. Hudson-Odoi slows the attacks down, always obviously trying to cut inside. Gibbs-White, not influencing the game enough for me. Milenkovic, completely lacking in confidence and almost like his football IQ has dropped off. Einar still not fully fit. There's so many issues right now on this starting 11 and they need to be addressed and addressed quickly. So let's get through this Wrexham game on Friday, see how it goes. Let's enjoy a stress-free period for a little bit, because God knows where we'll be once we play Arsenal and everything else. I actually expect us out of the next few games. Probably Arsenal's our best chance at a point, as crazy as it sounds. I think he sets up better than there, and we know that some of these fraudulent players will actually want to be kind of putting themselves out in the shop window against a Big Six team, because we've seen it against United, we've seen it against Spurs, we've seen it against Man City. And there was another Big Six team that we played out. For the life of me, I can't think. Liverpool. We've seen it against those teams. Yet when we're coming to the more important game, these crunch games, where's the passion? Where's the desire? Where's the hunger to go and win it for us, the fans? So those are my thoughts on the game. We'll break it down tonight on Grumpy Old Reds. It'll be about 8:30 tonight, so make sure you tune in for that. I do believe Rob and Ant will be on the same panel. And Rob's going to have to explain how he still thinks West Ham are going to get 13 points from those games. So make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe. I'll leave you the player ratings as well if you didn't catch up with those, so you can see what you guys voted for on the players there. Please like and subscribe. Check out OK Jerseys. We'll see you tonight. Come on, you Reds.